Earlier today, the Pac-12 conference led by Commissioner George Kliavkoff held an emergency meeting where they presented their latest and apparently last gasp effort at saving the conference with a media rights deal. And after hearing the offer that was put on the table, I'm just going to say this, put a fork in them, they're done. This conference is finished. We're talking a conference that has history dating all the way back to 1915. It's over. It's finished. There's no way they can rebound from this. And I knew for a fact that it was going to be drastically different when UCLA and USC both announced they were departing for the Big Ten. I mean, you can't lose the LA market, let alone their most prestigious football and basketball program in one fell swoop and be A-okay. But there was still a chance they could keep their head above water as a power conference, okay? When Colorado left last week, not to echo Dan Lanning's sentiments and not at all to disrespect Colorado, but it is what it is. I mean, Colorado football has gained more relevance since hiring Deion Sanders back in the winter than they've had the last 20 years, okay? The basketball program, they've always been middle of the pack. Lanning wasn't entirely wrong in what he said. Arizona was their last gasp. Keeping Arizona happy, I think, would have kept this all together because Arizona still has a ton of prestige as a basketball program. Even their football program is what it is. But then you come to the table with an offer of $19.7 million per team and a percentage of the sales per sale, I believe, for their streaming deal on Apple TV. Now, mind you, I know people sit there and say, well, streaming's the future. Yeah, that's awesome. But when you look at the fact that the SEC's got ESPN in their back pocket, these conferences have ESPN, CBS, Fox, all in their back pocket. Miss me with this streaming bullshit. That's like, okay, that's like going into a dinner that you've got filet mignon and prime rib, and you bring in tuna fish sandwiches. I'm telling you right now, Arizona's gone. They've got a conference set for 5:30, I believe it is, Tucson time. And if they don't announce they're leaving the conference for the Big 12, it would be the biggest shock since Truman beat Dewey. I will tell you with firsthand knowledge, despite what Ray Anderson is saying and ASU was saying that they're going to take their time and think things out and they're loyal to the Pac-12 and it could still be a power conference, they're saying all the right things. They are not sticking around for this. I guarantee you that they will follow Arizona right out the door to the Big 12. Utah, same thing. Utah's gone. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, what are we down to, the last 8, 9? I'll tell you what, half of these schools are going to tell the Pac-12 to shove this deal up their ass. I wouldn't even wipe my ass with this piece of shit deal if I'm Oregon and Washington. I'm not looking at this. This is a joke. Don't think the Big Ten ain't interested. Don't think for a minute, okay? They've got their eyes on how this works, and then they're going to swoop in and see what they could get. Don't think they wouldn't want California, Southern or Northern California. Don't think they wouldn't be interested in Seattle and the Portland market. They'll just wait for the collapse of the Pac-12, and they'll swoop in. And then from there, where do we go? I mean, the only schools that I could see maybe, and I say that very loosely, giving scant consideration to this piece of garbage offer are Washington State, I say this loosely, Cal, Stanford, and Oregon State, maybe. I don't even think they would take it. This is just a lump of shit in a 2-pound bag. This is the best offer that you could bring. You've got a school that's got Nike backing it. You've got Seattle market in there. You've got the Phoenix market. And this is what you bring. If you'd have kept at least this together, you could go out and you can get SMU. Okay, I know SMU. Not exactly the greatest history after the Pony Express and the death penalty, but you got the Dallas market in there. You get San Diego State. You get UNLV. Hey, is it what it was? No. But it beats the conference being given the old yellow treatment, which is what it's going to get now. I'm telling you, every single team in this conference, I think, is blowing this joint, as they should. If I'm the Big 12, I'm picking the bones. I really am. And if I'm these schools, I'm listening. I mean, Oregon and Washington before that's, they were weary, or one of the two sides was weary. No, I think it's a whole different animal. I think that's wrong. Oregon and Washington were worried about the Big 12. Now it's a different animal. They're going to be knocking on that door too. I still think they're holding out hope that the Big Ten are going to call, and I still think the Big Ten might, but they're certainly not going to be orphans. They're not going to wait and see what the Pac-12 does to revitalize. Believe me, if they've got a chance to go to the Big 12 or play in a conference that scrapes together whatever scraps they can get, they're bolting. They're done. They're gone. Same goes with Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, Stanford. They're all getting the hell out of there. This is a fucking shame. It is. Because this conference has so much history. So many national titles in football with USC. UCLA had a great team in the 80s. Washington had some great teams with Don James. National titles with UCLA and Arizona. It's a shame it came down to this. Media rights and ineptitude of a commissioner that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But play taps. Pour one out. This conference is done. And at the end of the day, it's a damn shame. We'll talk soon.